everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Uncle's Farm. So, in the time that I was, off camera, I got all of this hay baled and raked. This took me forever. I was up till 7 o'clock in game last night, from when I started to up till 7 o'clock last night in game. So I think I started around 8 and ended around 7. But I got those hay bales over here, and then all the hay bales from here are over here. And then some of these square bales came from over there. So we got 8 stacks over here. These two kind of got pushed over. I'm not sure what the deal is, I guess. I think probably the wind or something. I'm not really sure. But we got all this stuff cut. All this. If we go across the bridge here, all of this. So now that we have all of our hay cut, we are going to be selling it all off and hopefully, possibly, not buying a combine, because I ran the calculations and we're going to make 61 grand or 53 grand off of all of these, 61 grand, off of selling all these. So, and then what we'll do with that 61 grand probably is buy 2 gravity wagons. The 2 gravity wagons that I would like to buy would be these 2 Kilbro ones. So that'd be 18 grand for these two. And then probably we would buy a 6600 John Deere combine with 160 horsepower. Wouldn't have GPS because it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost us 15 grand because we have to get the globe, the monitor, they have to replace this whole steering column, and there's a bunch of stuff, so we're not going to get GPS. But we'll get this with AC, so this will be 31 grand, so 31 plus 18 is, almost 32 grand, basically. Plus 18 racks us up to 50 grand. And that's not even the header included. So this is getting kind of expensive real quick, and I'm not liking it in the slightest, and then it'll be 10 grand for a decent sized header, an 18 meter one, or an 18 foot, So, that'll rack us up to, I think it was 50, so $60,000. So we'll have 61 grand, but that's not including our loan interest, which is 3 grand a month. So we are going to have to sell these hay bales at their highest price, and even then we won't have enough money to be able to afford a combine and header. So I've been talking, and I've been looking around, and I have come up with I have talked to some people, and I have come up with a couple of areas of grassland, or, hayland that we can cut. So I talked to the people over at the CRP, or whatever. I think it would be like a soil management office or something. I talked to them, and it turns out that this hay piece right here is actually not in CRP. The stuff that's across from the trees. However, this bigger section is, along with this field 26. So we'll cut this, and then another one that, another piece of hay that we would be able to cut would be, I know a person, or a buddy of mine, there's some waterways that we would be able to cut. right along here, there's some waterways that we could cut, or if we want to, or well, forget that. We'll cut this for sure, and then I talked to this old guy up here, the guy who owns field 157. He said we're allowed to cut all this CRP and all this stuff. So that's all good. We'll probably cut that, and then we hopefully will be able to buy that combine. So that'll be all good. But we got a lot of work to do. And also, as you can see, we got negative $4,000, which is, well, let's just say not great at all. But yeah, time was getting pretty cut short. I had about, I think, yeah, there was a rain in the forecast, so it just rained last night, but I've checked all the hay, where all that stuff is, and it's good to go. So we will probably end up unhooking this baler here. Let me get this unhooked. Hop in the tractor. Start it up. And we're going to unhook the baler. Alright, now we are going to take this tractor home, fill up with some diesel, and then we'll hook up to the hay bind and start cutting all this hay that we got. So I'll probably end up selling all that hay up there just so we can make it to the month that we need to sell our hay at the highest price. I mean, I could talk to the banker maybe if we can get an operating note for like $20,000 just to last us till January, because that's when the highest hay price is. And then I was also thinking, if we ever want to, we could maybe, what I'm saying is, if we don't get enough money to buy a combine and all that stuff, we could always just rip all this up and plant alfalfa. So hopefully that would make us some good money, but yeah, I'll have to talk to my banker on that operating note. So I will see you guys once I am back at the yard. Alright guys, we are just pulling back up to the yard. We'll pull in this gate here, and I can show you. Ooh, yeah, crap, that's right. There's a bit of fence there. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. I better shut this gate for now at least. But I think, well, we won't be able to cut hay right away this morning, actually, because it rained a little bit ago. We could probably start cutting around noon. But what I do know that I can do is I could rip all this up, because this won't be good enough to cut. I mean, we could cut it in November, but there's just not going to be a lot there. It's just not going to be worth it to cut it. So we will probably throw what am I doing over here? We'll probably throw the duals on this and wash it off, fill it up with fuel. We'll park this right here, shut it off. We'll wash this off, but we will pull it in the shed, and I believe he had a set of duals behind the shed for this tractor. So we will put the duals on this and rip up all of this hay ground that's right by the house, so that will be ready to plant come springtime, so we can get that planted right away. I was also considering if we find a used grain drill on the market that we could get ourselves some double crop beans going. I think we'll have to pass on those for now because just as you can see, we're already going to be struggling to make it till next year, of course, when we can cut that CRP again. And we'll probably sell some of that stuff right away. But I will see you guys once I get the duals on this tractor. Alright, so we managed to get the duals on here. So it's looking all good. We got the, so this will probably be able to pull that ripper, or that, I just went blank, field cultivator a lot better. So we'll get this all started up, this old girl. And we will pull over there to the field cultivator, and we will start ripping up some hay ground so that we can hopefully get a row crop in next year. Hello everybody, and welcome back to back at the farm here, and I'm back here disking up this to be ready for being in tillable acres. So you may be wondering, why am I using a disc? Well, it turns out that this tractor does not have enough horsepower, or traction, probably both, to pull that 20-foot cultivator. So what I had to do is I had to trade that off for this disc from the dealership, which was pretty nice of them. So this disc is working pretty good now. I'm able to go faster. That old field cultivator that I did have, the top speed with it in the ground was 2 miles an hour. So that's kind of why I didn't want to use it. Oh, whoa, I'm going way too fast. Let's drop it down in the ground. There we go. But anyways, so that's kind of why I didn't want to use it, because I didn't want to go 2 miles an hour around this whole flipping field, and that would just straight up take forever. So but this will be doing us pretty good. I'll get this field all disced up, and then by then I should have everything all done pretty much, I guess. Should have all this disced up. I'm not gonna rip that up. Let's be honest here. I'll probably get like 10 bushels of soybeans off of that. It's not gonna be worth diddly squat. So, and then also I need to talk to somebody at like soil conservation, or someone that I could get out here to take some soil samples of this field. So that would be all good. Yeah. So we will get all of this disced up, all this hay ground, and I will see you guys once I am in the truck, probably loading up and selling all my, or not selling all my square bales, but I'll have the duals off of this, and I will be over in the one patch of CRP. Or not CRP, but hay ground, that from that old guy. I will see you guys then. Alright guys, I am back. I got all this disced up, so this is good to go for planting. I wanted to make sure to disc it up after I just had a complete brain fart. After I cut it, yeah, so that I would not have a lot of per se, like, how do I say this? A lot of like foliage or a lot of trash, so that I could just come through here with a disc and disc it up. But now we are going to on our way to that person's house, or not person's house, excuse me. We are on the way to that grandpa's hay ground, and we will get all that cut. I will see you guys once I get up there. It's gonna take me, honestly, a hot minute. It'll probably be around noonish. I'll just wait up there. I'll have one of my buddies give me a ride down to my pickup, but I will see you guys once I get there. It'll probably be, yeah, noonish. And then we'll be able to start cutting the hay, because it'll be hopefully quite a bit drier. I might bring the rake up there. I might not. We'll see. But I will talk to you guys once we get up there. Alright, everybody. It is noon now. We will start up this hay mine, and we are going to start. What is that? What is that? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's kind of cool. But anyways, we are going to turn this on. Drop it down. And we should be good to go. Alright, well, we will get all of this hay cut. I'm not going to go up to the ditch because, one, I didn't ask to mow the ditch, and number two, I'm just not gonna. And plus, I already kind of got lucky with being able to cut this in the first place, so I'm not gonna try to get too greedy here. Yeah, so this will be all good. It's gonna be really rough going through that creek. Not great, but otherwise there is a lot of hay here to cut, so hopefully we can make some pretty good money, enough to, I guess, I don't know, probably pay for the gravity wagons, or at least hold us off till, I guess, whenever. Or, well, we might even just keep all this hay, because if you noticed in my bank account, I talked to the banker while I was waiting for this hay to dry out, and I was able to get an operating note from him. So that's all good. Now, so we'll probably keep all this hay till roughly like, I don't even know, I guess. Probably till January, like the rest of our hay. But this will be the end of this episode, episode 3, and I will see you guys once I am finished cutting this. There's probably like 50 acres here of hay ground, but I will see you guys once I have all this cut, possibly raked, probably not though, but I will see you guys then once I get all this done.